with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
In full-blown summer mode. But we're still here.
Yep.
You're here. Everybody else is on there tweeting from their cottage.
Dark today.
It is dark. Yeah, there's a bit of a thunderstorm here in Toronto. It's been a real, hot, super... Supposed to feel like 39 today in Toronto. Like 39 Celsius.
What?
With the humidity.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, close to 40 hot.
Well, I'm glad to be in the Adam Wilde Memorial Refrigerator.
That's right.
Our studio.
It is cold in here. And by the way, for anybody, Americans that are asking, I think it's that's equivalent to over 100.
Adam, it's supposed to be 27. What are you talking about?
Feels like 39 is what they said on CP24 this morning.
Into a mic.
I said it into a mic.
You said it, so it must be true.
Yeah, and also...
That's what they told me this morning. I don't know, Jesse. I didn't do my meteorologist
I just pulled up the weather app and
it's 39 Celsius in Canada. The Sabres paid Kyle Okposo's bonus and not the Panthers.
Oh, man.
All that.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
We can say whatever the hell, the F and hell we want.
Yeah,
Sorry
I'm going
for
through
my
the feels like chart, and
that's what they said.
It's 26, Adam.
Feels like Adam's lying.
26. It is 26, Jesse. It can't feel like 26 if it is 26.
Yeah, but they have a
because they have the
feels like chart on Apple.
O-meter on the thing. Where do you think they got the deserve to win meter from? They got it from the weather.
Apple, the weather app's got the feels like chart, and it's
Apple weather app.
Adam,
pleb.
You're getting
the weather
crushed.
network.
Not great.
Crushing the deserved to interesting.
Yeah, you start off with the weather.
Okay.
Banger show right
at
now.
At very least, it's saying feels like 33 right now. And it feels like, hold on, look. Weather Network app, real app, goes up to 4 p.m., feels like 37.
Yeah, so Mr. Exaggeration over here. It's supposed to feel like 50, guys.
It feels like 30. I said 39.
Your shoes are going to melt on the road.
I said 39.
Your shoes are going to melt into the road, guys. The asphalt's going to be so hot.
To weather a meter, okay? All right, fine. Fuck it. Let's just talk about the Columbus Blue Jackets then. That's you guys.
What did they do?
Well, they actually, so they said, hey, Todd McClellan, you're hired. And he's like, cool. There's a wrinkle, though. The Kings still owe me money. And it's unclear right now whether or not the Kings and Blue Jackets couldn't come to an accord, or Todd McClellan and the Blue Jackets couldn't come to an accord in terms of how much money he was going to be making.
When the hell
Todd
did this
McClellan is not going to be the coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets now.
Officially.
Jay Woodcroft and Dean Evison are being flown in this week. Both Evison and Woodcroft were fired last season, still have years left on their contracts. However, Columbus has already spoken to those two teams, and they should be able to work it out. So what's the rumor is, because McClellan was making $5.5 million as the coach of the Kings.
Holy moly!
Is that the Kings said, cool, we want you to take that, and the Blue Jackets were like, well, no. And then
we're the Blue Jackets.
And then if the Blue Jackets said to McClellan, listen, you're going to make 5.5 with them, but you could make $4 million with us, but it's over the next 4 years, you probably scrap that deal and go for it. But he might be going like, I'm actually worth 5.5.
Yeah. Also,
so we don't know.
Lighting money on fire.
Yeah. So a source involved in the process told Aaron Portzline of The Athletic that the snag with McClellan is not just about money.
Oh.
So they wanted to hire him. I've made it all about money here because that seems to be the obvious part. But I don't know what it could be other than money. I don't know what. Okay, so we like you. Mm-hmm. We want you.
The team's butt.
Does
that matter?
Your coaching record recently is pretty butt too. So this is a great redemption arc for both of you. And what?
Again, a very popular conversation we have on this show, or question that we ask: why don't hockey guys retire? You don't need this job for your resume, Todd. You're 56. You're going to be 57 when the season starts, and you've been a head coach since 2008.
You got money.
Sit there and get 100% of the money you're owed. What are you talking about?
Nah.
No.
You don't understand the passion, Steve.
Yeah, no.
You don't understand the passion,
You should light 7 figures on fire to coach the Blue Jackets? The Blue Jackets.
But you would make more money in the aggregate, is their point.
Or, yeah, but have you considered not getting on something like 200 flights in a year and spending time with your family and making $5.5 million to do so? Have you ever seen a beach? You ever tried billiards? You ever what if Todd McClellan, I want to see a head coach do this, but they're all too old. I want him to start a Twitch.
You want him to
I
start
want him to
Twitch?
start a gaming channel.
Maybe he should do what Jesse does, but he's only the coach. So he only gets to set the lines.
Yeah.
And
so the GM makes all the the video game GM makes all the decision, but he just edits the lines.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
And then he does the shifts too on the bench, and he does a Twitch, but he's the Columbus Blue Jackets digital head coach.
Oh, he's the guy. Have you ever looked at the formations tab
Oh yeah.
on NHL and gone, who is anal enough to actually dick with these?
I do that all the time.
So the answers are Jesse and Todd.
No, because some of them make a difference. Because you want
It's true, it does.
Yeah, no, because one thing you want the CPU players to play to your play style. So I like the crash the net formation's always been my default playing in NHL growing up. I set every line to do crash the net because you want them to go fight for the rebounds. Because you want the CPU to come in and get the rebounds. But if you have them on some of the other ones, they just stay to the outside. So you got to adjust those strategies.
There was a borderline glitch goal that me and the Dangle Navy called the Thanos snap, where the center just pushes. The right winger comes in, scoops up the puck, gives it to the right-handed left winger, slap shot. His
body deformed.
Crazy set play.
Yeah.
Like it works. It works very often.
Does it work every time?
I was the righty on the left wing. I was over.
Oh,
okay.
60% of the time.
Now, are you guys ready to Todd McClellan, are you ready to tell him about all this stuff? Because if he's going to be a head coach in the digital NHL, he's got to know about the Thanos snap goal. He's got to know about the crash the net strategy. To be honest with you, I had never got that deep in NHL games where I adjusted the strategy ever.
Yeah.
You know,
Rarely.
All right. There's different levels.
You could practice too. Remember that?
Yeah, practice mode is very useful.
Is it?
Practice mode is actually quite
It's
nice.
very useful.
I did the first time I did practice mode was when I started to really get into FIFA a few years ago, and I was like, man, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And so
That's why you
practice mode,
Yeah, that's
it
what practice
really does
mode is
work.
for.
Yeah, but the hockey one I never bothered with.
No. Well, I like working on things that I'll never actually use in a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, chipping up the boards, go around the guy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good skill.
You never use that?
That I'll never use. No.
Why not you use that?
I play D. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I just...
Also, when you do it versus a CPU rather than a real human being, I find real human beings are a lot harder than the CPU.
Yeah, because you can learn how the CPU plays at certain
Yeah.
levels. Like if you're playing on all-star, if you're not up to the highest setting, then you can kind of figure out how the CPU plays and you play around that.
The really annoying thing about... So we were in tier 1 EASHL for because everyone got so insanely good at video games during COVID. That the annoying thing with that is every tier before that, you're like, they're going for the hit. And you were able to plan around, they're going for the hit.
You just you skate around it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
here I am. Oh no, I'm vulnerable. Bye.
Yeah. 'Cause when you go for a hit, you got to go directly at the skater. So you always know if I just go around at this moment, I'm going to go right by them.
Yeah, but then they start chipping it by you and getting breakaways, and you look fucking stupid
Yeah.
in front of your friends. And yeah,
You're starting to become like that college athlete that never made pro that still talks about it, because we're
I know.
4 years removed from that EA SHL Div 1 thing. It's 2020 was a while ago now.
was.
And you're still remember that one time we were in Div 1? I'm like, Steve, that was 4 years ago now.
We were talking about it in the group chat yesterday.
Yeah.
It was just and it sucks because we know we'll never get it back.
Yeah,
We're all just too busy and not in jail. We're all just not in home.
it's virgin on the
collective
washed
house
up
arrest.
athlete.
Yeah.
It's virgin on that.
but I still have my Dangle Navy Letterman jacket.
Yeah.
I could have been
Napoleon
some-
Dynamite. Watch me throw that football over the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you.
You once got up to, did you not get up to Div 4 on your own?
Oh, no. So that was hot.
That was
and
hot.
And it was Div 3. And I remember being I've told the story before, but I was like, I'm going to play the shit out of Chel. I'm just going to play online every night, and I'm going to get so good at it. And
What was the reason, though? It wasn't streaming. It was
I just felt like it.
It was fun.
You're
I just
this
felt
is
like
my
it.
goal.
Yeah.
And it was competitive. It was not relaxing and fun at all. And I made it up to Div 3, and I'm like, fuck yeah. And I lost 12 straight games, never played it again.
Div 3 is hard.
It's so hard.
Any of those upper echelon tiers in Chel are really hard. Any online video games, because you're competing with kids who can just do this all day.
I'll say I was after loss
What happened?
7 or 8. Adam's laughing at my reaction.
Can you imagine?
I
what it
rage
was like
quit.
at loss 9, where he's going into like game 10, and he's like, you know what? I know the last 9 went real bad, but
Yeah.
this one I got.
No, I'm gonna. I
were you
just
close. You must have been close in some of the games.
almost all of them.
Okay, so you could have won any of them.
Yep, didn't.
It feels like the Leafs. Hey, man.
Yep.
Oh, if only game 7 had gone differently.
And I was like, I'm gonna run it back. I'm gonna run it back. I don't care what any of the evidence
At
says.
the time, guys, because again, I never get that deep with those kinds of video games. Was it one of those where if you got to that level and then somebody had bought a bunch of hut packs or whatever, and they had amazing players? Like I had a friend who was really deep into FIFA, and he's like, it sucks because you get super deep, and then somebody will have like a gold Pele and like
Pele passes to Ronaldo, passes to Messi.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you still also need to be good at the game.
Yes,
like it's an excuse that like, oh yeah, the other guy's better plays, but once you get to a certain level, everybody's team is an all-star team, and then it's just who's the best at the game.
Right. So who was on your team?
Me?
Did you have a good team? Did you have good players?
I did, but like it wasn't the crazy high tiers.
Okay.
that, like everyone had. Like you get to a certain level and like everyone's just bought. Like so, I would earn bonuses.
See, Jesse's saying you have to be good at playing, though.
You do have to be good at playing.
Everybody has everybody, you know.
But when the gap gets smaller and smaller and smaller, you know, if I have Timothy Liljegren on my back end and you have Paul Coffey, it's going to be a little difficult for me to win that friggin' game. I had like Charlie Coyle, like young, like Minnesota Charlie Coyle.
Like pre-third round pick trade.
Yeah,
Charlie
man.
Coyle. Okay. Jesse, is there any chance that you would do a streaming thing where you were playing and you're working your way up to Div 1 next year?
No,
No?
it's too much. That's too much commitment.
It's
Yeah,
not much
no,
work.
He's
like-
not good enough.
Like I said,
Like-
you're competing against people who are 15, and that's all they have to do. Like they
Right.
have this. I'm out of school. I don't have
Yeah.
grade 6 anymore, or like I'm not in grade 11. I have the summer off. I can just play video games all day. I can't compete with that.
I played all the Halo games.
Yeah.
And I was online with a buddy and I tried to play online because like I just did all the missions. And after about 2 hours, I was actually at peace. I was like, there's no amount of time I could dedicate
Yeah.
that I would be able to even compete.
At this moment in your life,
Like, no, like,
Yeah.
and this was years ago.
Mhm.
This was like pre-kids. I was like, no, I'm working on like a career and I got tomorrow's garbage day. I gotta go
Yeah.
sort out the recycling. I
yeah.
gotta
Imagine telling Isla, "No, I can't burp you right now. I can
Nope.
finish this COD game."
nope.
Like,
Yeah,
it's not-
Daddy's got 3 kills and 24 deaths, and he's trying to improve on this. And I am so far behind.
Mhm.
It's like you know what? I made a good pass at that charity tournament. I'm this close to Linda.
What is your
Like
what is your video game Stanley Cup? Like what's the best moment, the best high either of you have ever had in gaming?
I scored the OT winner against a team of racists. That was cool. I
I
mean,
mean, any
that's all
Chel
of
team
them.
online.
yeah, it's all
Have they cleaned that shit up yet?
not really.
Not right
Oh,
now.
for God's
No.
sakes.
Yeah, a bunch of OT winner. Oh, dude, the fucking Game 7 OT winner that us 3 scored,
Yeah, that was a
Oh,
fun one.
that was a great one.
Yeah.
where we chased Jesse around my basement.
Yeah. Jesse scored
Because
that though.
That was game 6, right? And then we had to play one more to actually win the championship.
I'm not sure. I thought it was.
Was
Game
that
7
not the
round
second
2.
round though that we went nuts?
Yeah,
or
it was the second round.
It wasn't
Oh
even the
man,
final.
yeah, no. So that's probably what I'm thinking about. It wasn't the finals. It was the semifinals. So it wasn't like it was for the Stanley Cup,
Yeah,
right?
but it was just.
Yeah.
And then yeah,
We
but
were
it was-
down though.
Don't
We were
ever
down.
tell
was
me
that
video games aren't real. Like
Uh,
Jesse scored, immediately drops the controller, runs down the basement. I'm the closest to him. I run after him. Adam is on the couch next to us, runs after me,
That was good.
and I felt like the king of the world.
And I remember there was one time I really got into Fortnite, and I was like, again, this is pre-kids. This is how old Fortnite is now too.
No, this is yesterday.
And my buddies and I were not great at it, but we randomly were playing in the middle of the day on a Wednesday because it was between shows or something like that. And we get hooked up with this guy who is from Mexico. and he can't speak English, and we can't speak Spanish. They're Italian guys, the two guys that I played with, the Fiorios.
Oh, okay.
And anyway, we somehow win this game, and it's the only win I ever had at Fortnite, and we exploded. Like, my ears were like, because you're not in the same room, right? This guy is just spouting off in Spanish. He's so excited, and he adds us all on like. So
Nice.
I still have him as a friend.
Oh, everyone has been in a game of Chel with a guy with a guy from Quebec who is just talking mad shit the whole game. Knows we don't understand him. Doesn't care.
Doesn't care. Needs you to know anyway.
And most importantly, best player on our team.
Yes, has to.
Almost always.
I will throw
Almost
this out
always.
there. Jay Woodcroft or Dean Evison will be named head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Oh, yeah.
Before August 1st, because Aaron Portsline asked Don Waddell about, hey, do you want this coaching search to go into August? And he said, hell no. So
It
Good
made
answer.
sense that the Todd McClellan negotiations fell off the map because they have their pick of the litter right now. And it sounds like they came down to 3 guys, and they had some differences with McClellan over the last week. And it's like, no, well, we have another good candidate sitting there, Jay Woodcroft in his pants and Dean Evison in his angriness.
Yeah.
So like, we can go with either one and we'll be happy.
Like, hot take. This is a good thing
Yeah.
for Columbus. Like, I don't think there's you can argue about who was the better coach or whatever. But I'm willing to bet Evison and Woodcroft can't command $5.5 million. So you're going to get probably at least equally as good of a coach for less. The owners should be happy.
I thought it was of note, and I'm not saying this to be salty, but I think it's of note that McClellan is a Babcock disciple. And they just hired and fired Babcock a year ago.
I know. I know.
Maybe go a different direction.
Yeah, but they don't think. Like, I don't know. Like, we've been doing this show long enough, and we pick up on themes. And like, some people go like, why are you so grumpy? Because I've been paying so much attention for for some of the people who listen to the show since you were in the 3rd grade. And a lot of hockey guys just do the same shit. Like, this thing about recycling, there are max 50 head coach candidates.
I bet since we started this show, there have been maybe 55 in the NHL. Maybe. Like,
No, there's gotta
No,
be
we've
more.
been doing it, 11 years?
11 years. This is
Yeah,
the end of
no,
our
no.
11th year. You think so?
Here's the better question. First of all, that would be insane to figure out, and I know somebody's
going to
it.
do it.
It wouldn't be that hard.
I will not do
'Cause
that.
we can just go to NHL. There's a Wikipedia page of NHL.
It would be difficult to do live.
I
let's not
can't do it live, but I can guesstimate.
I admire you. So, okay, let's say you get made commissioner of the league.
Yeah.
For a day.
Mhm.
Okay. And for half an hour, and you get to make one rule in that half an hour. And the rule is every active NHL head coach right now is fired, and you can hire anyone you want to be your new head coach, except you can't rehire the person that was just fired. How many of the 32 guys would be back in rotation?
I'm willing to say above 80%.
Yeah, like 25, probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
let's get some new blood in here. No, it's just not
What if we didn't?
And then sometimes teams get new blood, and you could tell that it's set up to fail from the beginning, and then it does fail, and they're like, see.
Like Pascal
What?
Vincent?
Yeah, no,
What year did we start the show?
2013.
yeah.
May 2013.
May 2013. Since May
End of-
2013, you said I couldn't do this during the show, and I took that as a challenge.
Damn.
Since May 2013, there have been 54 head coaches.
I fucking nailed it! I fucking nailed it! I said 55. Didn't quite nail it, but mostly nailed it.
Adam! Dude! That's 140! Holy shit!
Well, I told you there hasn't been a lot.
That's not bad.
Not a lot of guys get in there. Not a lot of guys.
I am easily the least useful member of this show. Wow, how did you guess that?
Well, because
and
they
how did
keep
Jesse
getting-
find that?
Todd McClellan, I believe, has coached for at least, if he had been hired by the Blue Jackets, it's probably more true, but
Since
I think-
2008.
since 2008. So he but he
As
was
a
an
head
assistant as a head though since 2008.
Yeah,
It was the Sharks that long.
It was 3 years.
2009.
Oh, 2009.
And he was Sharks for until like 2017, was he not?
Oh, it was the 08-09 season.
Mhm.
No. He coached 82 games that year. It must have been 08.
Okay. What I'm asking,
Oh, wait.
how many
Oh,
teams has
sorry.
he coached for?
How many? The Red
3.
Wings as an assistant,
Yeah, that doesn't count.
which might explain why he's a
Talking about head
Babcock
coach,
disciple, and he won a Stanley Cup there actually in 08. The Sharks, Oilers, Kings, 3.
Yeah, and so this was going to be his 4th.
Well, he's
He
actually.
also interviewed for the Leafs job too.
Oh, that's right. As head coaches go, he actually has a decent track record for sticking.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He always has like a long. It's not like Tortorella by year 4. You're like, okay, he's gone. You know, Tortorella's got it. He's 4 years, and he's 1 year into his 4 years in Philly.
Oh, the seeds have already been sown. They're getting a little sick of him.
Well, I thought was crazy, by the way, that Cam Atkinson is on the way out in Philly, and he's like he's a Torts guy.
It's weird for a team that I actually pay a decent amount of attention to. They have so many players where I'm like, they're good, bad,
You don't know.
great, terrible. Like I don't.
Lawton, Atkinson.
Yeah.
Like you don't know anymore. You don't know with Philly because it's like, and then of course, like week to week throughout the season,
Couturier.
you're like, wow, the Flyers suck, and Flyer fans are like, F you, we're in a playoff spot.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the season, you're like, man, the Flyers really surprised me. And they're like, F you, we just blew it. Like, it's just a weird
Sean
thing.
Couturier is retired, useful, healthy scratch.
Yeah.
He's
Captain.
captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very confusing.
All right, let's show our work here so I can just talk about the number that we got to of 54. And we can dispute this number if we want because we can categorize in different ways. I'll explain what I'm talking about. So on hockeyreference.com, they have a register of NHL coaches. There's been a total of 397 NHL coaches in the history of the NHL. Ever. 397. You go back to number 397. That is Art Ross, I believe. There.
No
it is.
way.
Art Ross, number 1. So
And Newsy Lalonde.
1918 is when he started head coaching. Then there's all the other guys with him. So if we go and we sort by year from when they entered the NHL, so from when to 2013, when we started the show, we get to 54 head coaches. But
Unbelievable.
if you want to count the head coaches that were in the league at the time, you know, because it wasn't just people who initiated from 2013 on, you can include the other 32 that are in the league at the moment. But I think
what's the point?
What you said is true.
You know what's nuts? Adam was right. The number's 54 and John Cooper, 2012.
Well, John Cooper, 20.
He's right. He's in there. Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was hired 2012.
You said
I was so excited.
Todd McClellan 2008, and here he's listed as 2009
because he was
probably the year. How Hockey Reference is referencing the year is the year like at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So we should really be tracking from 2012 if we want the 2013 season when he started. So that number is really 61.
Okay.
So
relatively
It's
same
in and around the same number. The point is that since 2012-13 season-ish, there have been 61 head coaches that have entered and gone through the league, which is a relatively very small number for a league with 32 teams now.
So even if there have only been, say, 60 coaches in that time, even if that's the case, because maybe people will be like, well, there were incumbent coaches and there's this and that. Fine.
I just wanted to show the work. So
that
means
means over 11 years of doing this show, only 60 fresh bodies have entered the room.
That is exactly correct.
That is 5 a year?
No,
It's very small.
Now, how about this? How many have coached less than a full season in the NHL?
So
Dale Hunter
checks on that.
you go 1, 2.
Randy Cunnyworth is 50. Ron Rolston, like I don't remember who that human is. 51. Todd Nelson, 51.
Billy Desjardins. Oh my God.
NJD Bench? Well, like what the
That's not a person. That's a creative
Is that
player.
Lou?
That's New
Jersey Devils bench.
They had a bet. Yeah. Okay. So that doesn't count.
They took over.
That doesn't count.
I don't know. Tom Rowe is number 5. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Bob Murray, 26.
Alan Nasruddin.
Jeff
Oh my
Ward.
God.
Jeff Ward.
One game.
Alain Nesruddin.
That's not fair. He was filling in for. Was he not filling in for?
No, he was hired.
No, for a game?
No.
No,
43 games.
43.
That's
This is
season.
seasons.
Oh,
This is
okay.
games.
Oh, sorry.
So Dominic Ducharme, 83. He meets the requirements. He doesn't count. Dave Lowry, Derek King. So we're at 10. Pascal Vincent meets the requirements at 50 or at 82. Sorry. Chris Knobloch, Jim Hiller,
These are all new guys.
Greg Cronin. I mean, yeah, they're new guys. Or no, Greg
Drew
Cronin doesn't
Bannister.
count. Drew Bannister does. So we're at 13.
And Ryan
13 guys have
Warsofsky.
coached less than
Don't
82
forget about
games.
Ryan Warsofsky.
Oh, and
he's
who has
coming
coached
up.
0, so 14.
So that is the years
Not alive.
thing, how they track it. See, Warsofsky is 2025, so it's the year ahead of time.
Right. Hey,
Yeah.
how many numbers did you get to there? How many did you count?
That's 12? 14?
14. So 14 of the 60
Yeah.
did not coach a full season or coached one season or less.
Yeah.
So you mean so that brings us to about 45 because the NJD bench doesn't count. So we're
Yeah,
down
it
to
does.
60.
There's like
It should not.
That
That's
should
not
count.
a person.
No, but somebody was there on the NJD bench coaching.
What happened there?
Maybe
I don't
a
know.
health issue.
We can
Likely a health issue.
Yeah, but like,
That's fine.
Like maybe like remember during the bubble season, Claude Julien couldn't coach for a bit because he was
that's
sick.
right. But like,
And
even
Luke Richardson came in and did a great job. Should have been the head coach.
but like this year when Torts was suspended, someone filled in.
Yeah,
Rocky Thompson.
yeah.
So-
Well, they
but
didn't
like,
say
I guess he didn't count.
They didn't say Philadelphia bench. No, I think maybe then somebody got fired and then they hadn't made a hire and
I have
so the
no
assistants
idea.
took over for a game.
I have no idea.
I don't know how they checked that.
Yeah, 46 games coached, NJD bench.
What was their record?
20 and 19 and 7.
Damn,
Not great.
should have got a coach. That's 2015. I have no idea.
Lou would have still been there, right? When he joined the Leafs, or was that 14?
That was when he joined the Leafs. He joined the Leafs
Who was
for
the
the year
GM?
they finished last.
Who was the GM after Lou? Because it didn't go well.
I don't remember.
Wow,
I know.
Interesting.
I know.
Very interesting. Love this.
What a July ass episode.
Yeah, it is a July episode. Actually, I wanted to. There was something else I wanted to hit because Fluto Shinzawa, who's a Bruins.
I got the answer for you. Pete DeBoer was the coach from October to December, and then from December to April, he got fired. Adam Oates and Scott Stevens split the coaching duties. So that's why they mark it as NJD bench.
Now Adam Oates is now like a personal coach. Like he does a lot of like instead of being a head coach.
Skills coach.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about this because I saw it come up. And again, summer episode. Fluto Shinzawa, who is a Bruins reporter for The Athletic, is talking about NHL diets for guys that are coming in. Guys that are rookies trying to put on weight.
Okay.
And yeah, I just thought you guys would find this hilarious. So they Dean Letourneau, who
Could have just asked me, guys.
What?
just ask you how to
You need
gain
help
weight.
putting on weight?
All
All right, step one, get older.
Dean Letourneau, who is a 6'7", 210-pound centerman that the Bruins drafted 25th overall
I hate
this year.
I hate it.
They were talking to him and a few other players about how they need to put on weight. And I don't think 210 pounds is actually what he weighs. I think it's what they idealize him to be. None of these guys come in like I was talking about it with somebody this weekend, and it's like, yeah, the guy's 6'3" and he's 160 pounds.
Right.
You know what I mean? So during the off season, some of these guys, 17 years old,
Right.
will target 4,500 calories a day. So 4,500 calories a day.
And like useful calories.
Well,
Like
yeah.
you're sitting here going, I could go to the bar and pull that off. Mm-mm.
No.
It's not
No.
not the same.
So
Not the same.
They were talking about how they have to get between 25 and 30 grams of protein.
Okay.
They spoke to one of the performance coaches for the Bruins, and you can get pizza and fries and sweets and all that stuff, but I guess that obviously that doesn't make you feel very good. And they're talking about in the article about how it's so much for these teenagers to eat this much.
Oh yeah.
And they feel like crap and they feel
Yeah.
tired and draggy because they can't all their energy is going to burning the food.
That's so insane, first of all. But no, I've told this story before, where Nikita Filatov, I was told, he was drafted 6th overall by the Blue Jackets. He was a relatively tall guy, but he was really light, like $150, $160. And they're like, we're going to get you up to $190. And he would eat until he puked. He would eat until he puked.
So they profiled Jonathan Morello a little bit here. He's a 154th pick. You could be forgiven if you can't remember Jonathan Morello. He's 6'2", 187 pounds. 187 pounds, 17. He's at Clarkson University.
He's a big kid.
By the end of the summer, guys, he wants to weigh 195 pounds.
That's so difficult.
So that is 8 pounds.
Yeah.
8 pounds.
Of useful weight.
Yes. So
I could pull that off in I don't know, probably give me 5 days.
So they
but like useful weight. Useful
You got a
weight.
Mandarin.
Yeah. Oh.
So he said, if I have 3 meals spread throughout the day, that's not going to be enough to sustain me. So I've got to wake up early, eat, then eat every 3 hours until I go to bed. So typically he'll eat 4 eggs, 2 bagels, bacon, fruit, and a protein shake for breakfast. And
when you were saying the 25 to 30 grams of protein, you meant like per meal, right?
Every meal. Every meal, excuse me.
Oh,
Yeah, 'cause
holy
like
cow.
30 grams of protein in a day isn't a lot.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, oh, that's
no,
reasonable.
You meant
I meant
like
per day.
Maybe
you
even
meant like
not
per
enough.
meal.
Per meal.
Right? Yeah.
And so that they talked to her name is Julia Nicoletti. She's the Bruins nutritionist. Here's how it breaks down.
Holy.
Your first breakfast, it sounds like you're talking about hobbits. Like, what about second breakfast? First breakfast, oatmeal with fruit and peanut butter. Post-workout snack, protein shake, banana, peanut butter, and fruit. Second breakfast, eggs, avocado, turkey, bacon, fruit, potatoes. Lunch, burrito bowl with double chicken, rice, beans, and vegetables. So you're going to Chipotle, basically. Mid-afternoon snack, yogurt and fruit. First dinner, meatballs. Just meatballs. Second dinner, salmon, vegetables, pasta, and your pre-bed snack is a 500-calorie protein shake. 500. One of Nicoletti's, according to Fluto here, one of Nicoletti's most important tips is the protein shake before bed. She explained it's easier to maximize intake by drinking calories instead of eating them. So a 500-calorie smoothie late at night is great bang for the buck. And that's how you put it on. And they talked to Chris Pelosi, who is also a Bruins draft pick, and he said, yeah, he's like, if I drink it right before bed, I'm not burning it off right away. It's just sitting there. So the next morning I can just restart.
That sounds awful.
500 calories right before bed. That is crazy.
I don't remember the outlet, but there was a guy who he just decided to go about his regular day as like a blogger or whatever, like at an office.
Yep.
But eating like The Rock.
Oh God. Oh my God.
And
No.
like he would have been the smallest guy in this room.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna eat like The Rock. And he's had like 3 gargantuan meals, and it's like 11 in the morning or something like that.
Yeah.
Steve, that's something you should do.
I don't think I could do it. Like,
Yeah, but you should. The attempt is the fun part.
I'll try. I'll definitely barf. All for sure, but
I feel like that's the excitement of the video.
true. You know what? I forgot. It's for the entertainment, not the friendship. I got it.
Yeah,
it's
for the people watching and laughing.
I would do as the reigning SDP hot dog eating champion.
You are.
I would try it.
Should we do that again?
I'd lose the title so fast.
To who?
You, I think.
I don't think so.
You
can't
didn't
eat.
try.
I can't eat like that, like a whole bunch at one time. Like I'm not that kind of eater.
Believe it or not, comment section. I'm not that either. I used to be big time.
Adam, you think
can't do
you'll
it.
take the crown? This sounds like we got to do this.
Oh man, I could not do this. Like she's talking about openly in this article eating till you're really uncomfortable, and she's like, that's just what you have to do, because she's like, when these guys get on the ice, they're burning it off. That 4,500 calories or whatever is gone. Poof, into the ether.
Do I tell the story again of my buddy at the garden center?
What one's that?
Oh, okay. So I tell this every, I don't know, couple years or whatever, but you know, people come, people go.
Yeah.
You never know who's listening. I had a buddy who we called him AAA. because he played AAA. And it was really he was a younger guy.
You like to tell people he played AAA too?
Of course,
they tend to like to.
I mean,
that.
geez, if I played AAA, I'd tell people I played AAA. So he played AAA. So he was a really, really good hockey player. And he was younger than us, but he worked with my buddies at the Garden Center nearby, and he would come to the bar with us sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to some OHL tryouts, and there was a team that was like, "Okay, but you're 160 pounds, and we need you to be 190 pounds."
That's insane. How could you gain 30 pounds?
Which is an insane amount of weight. So what? But I guess they gave him that target: shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars.
Sure.
Like, all right, if get above 170 or whatever, like just so he would eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, and they would lift heavy things at the Garden Center, and he would eat and eat and eat and lift heavy things and eat and eat and eat. Where did I say he worked?
Garden Center.
The Garden Center. So he's not gaining weight, and he can't figure it out. So he goes to the doctor. The doctor informs him that all his days spent eating and eating and eating on a dirty workbench at a garden center has given him tapeworm.
What?
No. What?
So he couldn't gain the weight, and he didn't.
I forgot this story. If you
He unfortunately did not make the OHL. He did play for Guelph University, though.
So what is having a tapeworm? Like,
it's like a little worm that
It's a parasite.
grows slowly inside you,
like
in your
literally
intestines. And it eats what you eat, but basically it takes it instead. So like it is literally feeding off of the nutrition you put in your body. And
it found the greatest host it could possibly. It found a host that was trying to eat as much as possible.
So did he have to actively eat this worm?
No, it can be like it's like a small parasite that can get in, I think, through your nostrils or through your mouth.
It's very small.
And
it starts small,
and then they could be like feet long.
Jesse, have you ever seen the video or picture of the bear who has, I believe it's tapeworm?
I don't want to see that.
A lot of you know what I'm talking about, and it's nasty.
So then how do you get rid of a tapeworm?
That's a great question. I don't know.
How do you get tapeworms out?
I assume some sort of medication dissolves.
I think you got to get a circus clown, and they got to pull it out like this, like how they get the stuff out of the sleeve. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's called praziquantel, which paralyzes the tapeworm, which lets go of the intestine, dissolves, and passes from your body in bowel movements. If the worms are large, you may have cramping while they pass.
That makes sense.
That is bonkers. Damn. And hold on. How do you get a tapeworm?
You got to shit it out.
You get a tapeworm.
Eat so many meals a day at a garden center.
Yeah. So literally, it's when somebody eats or drinks something that's infected with the worm or its eggs, and that can be like you're shoveling dirt and you like wipe your mouth. It's that easy.
Yeah. No, it's not like he was like just disgusting.
He ate a handful of dirt.
Yeah.
No, it's probably he had like a speck of dirt.
Right.
And there's your tapeworm, and now you're not going to play in the O.
If anybody listening or watching this has had a tapeworm, let us know.
I want take a picture.
Send us your stories, and we'll get to it.
I love that. Yes, absolutely. We get that story. I just thought you guys would find that fascinating. Now, I also want to talk about this because this happened over the weekend. The Copa America final, Argentina-Colombia. You already knew that was going to be a crazy matchup. What we did not know is how badly people would want to get in.
Dude.
Jesse, I sent you one.
I thought this was for VIP.
Oh, no, this is just for the normal.
Oh, okay.
So I got other stuff for VIP. But I wanted you to have a look at just the ways that people get in. And I think there was some viral images, but you for anybody that's saying, "Oh, America can't handle this, it can't handle the World Cup in a couple of years." The stadium itself, the Hard Rock Stadium in Florida, has handled Super Bowls and other things.
It's elitist and alarmist.
Yeah.
You know football exists, eh?
Yeah.
Like the other one?
It has completely to do with the organizer, which I think is called CONMEBOL or something like that. They're the ones they understaffed the security.
They messed it up.
And if you missed this last night, I mean, this is a football stadium. There's a lot of people that can get in here. Tickets were $1,000 to $1,500, and people were sneaking in through the air ducting. They were climbing over the ticket takers.
Yeah,
climbing over. So
I saw a guy, like the cops are just like, I don't know, I'll pick one and try to tackle him.
Yeah.
And then he
here they
does.
This is the air duct one. TSN had a good compilation on their Instagram, so I just pulled up. They have all the videos there. We can go through them.
This is crazy. Like, that is so dangerous. I
this
can't
is
even.
them going through the air duct. It's ridiculous.
Like, that's scary. That's scary. Look at
There's
that.
everybody coming in.
Oh, there were people like with kids. Like, dude, I would never bring my child to that.
Yeah.
I saw someone with like a really small dog.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know if that dog survived.
Well, I think people
Look at that. Here,
Yeah.
take me off the screen for a sec. Look at this. Whoa!
Yeah, they destroyed one of the elevators up to one of the suites.
Yeah.
Like literally the escalator smash. That's crazy.
So I thought, seeing these images last night, I thought what a lot of people thought, and that was, they should not play this game.
Mhm.
And yeah, so that guy's passing his kids up to a cop to prevent crowd crush. Or
Yes.
is that what it's called?
That's crowd crush. Yeah.
Crowd crush. Look at that poor girl crying. She's getting smushed up against the fence.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought what a lot of people thought, and that is they shouldn't play this game.
And they delayed it by, I think, an hour and a half.
Yeah, no, but I changed my mind. They had to play that game. They had no choice but to play that game because there's all these friggin' lunatics forcing their way into the building, climbing through the air ducts and all that shit. And can you imagine if someone got over the loudspeaker and was like, actually, this game is canceled?
Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah.
They would have tore the shit out of that place. They would have set it on fire.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it got to the point.
It was basically a hostage situation.
It got to the point where, so the police were going in row by row and checking your tickets. And if you were caught without a ticket, you're gone. They kick you out.
See, I heard they weren't doing shit.
Oh, no, they were.
Oh,
They
yeah?
were. It's just
Like, how do you even have enough cops?
1,000 seats, right? So you're gonna have you already don't have enough people there.
No,
to,
I know.
And then to intake, and then you got to send. They probably had to bring in Miami-Dade police to come in and go, all right, you got to check the tickets, and if they're not here, they get out. And there were a lot of people who with tickets, like real tickets, that did not get in. They couldn't get in.
I saw one story where these people had tickets and they're like, hey, you're in our seat. And they're like, so? They're like, move. And they're like, nope. And they go to the usher. They're like, hey, they're in our seat. And they're like, yeah, well, what do you want us to do?
Yeah.
We can't do anything.
What I think in these situations, it's good to recognize, and I find it hilarious because a lot of people got sports elitist about it. They're like, oh, this never happened in my sport.
Oh, I know.
Especially hockey people. I mean, we all forget 2011 Vancouver.
Yeah.
So quickly.
Please like my sport and also fart.
And we also forget the 1950s Montreal where Maurice Richard was suspended for the playoffs after literally trying to take a guy's head off with his stick, and they shot off flares in the arena. Like this happens in every sport. I think it's a good reminder though. Like, you gotta hire security. You gotta hire people. You gotta bring people there. This is the sport. People
however much security you think you need, you actually need more.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's insane.
It is. It's a crazy thing. And what turned out to be, I mean, it was a good game. But it wasn't like a classic.
Messi's ankle was fucked.
Yeah, it
Did you
did
see
look
that?
rough. I'd be bad if I was Miami, like his actual club.
Oh,
So- Yeah.
In the final. Well, just like Tavares at the Olympics in Sochi, they're not going to let him go now.
Of course they were gonna let him.
Oh, no. Sorry. Other sports think like sports.
Right.
So it's fine.
Yeah, no, he does what he wants. He's
Yes.
messy.
Yeah.
Knowing this, I think that you're gonna see one of the most orderly World Cups in 2026.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think there's gonna be no messing around with that. We get a few games here. Are you guys entering for the draw for the games here?
No, my in-laws are.
Are they?
But, well.
Are you gonna do it?
Yeah, I registered on it's just an email list right now. I don't know how the tickets are going to work.
Yeah, I know that. So my brother-in-law got tickets to, of all places, the FIFA World Cup finals in Russia, and he just won a lottery and went with his dad.
Nice.
And he said, like, it's like they just email you and they're like, buy them now.
Buy them now or you don't get them.
And it's like, you got 20 minutes. There you go. Boom.
So I'm confused as to where there's games. Because I know
there's-
Toronto's getting
It's
some.
all over, right? So it's
I heard
Canada,
they have-
the United States, Mexico.
Canada, United States, Mexico, but I heard Vancouver has games.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's
There's a lot of teams, man. So
that's like being like, the World Juniors are going to be hosted by Lisbon and Moscow. Like,
It's a huge.
No, but
There's a 5-hour flight between cities.
No, but that's how it's working, and they're hosting it all across the 3 countries.
It's kind of a cool concept.
Yeah. That's the idea.
I guess, yeah, like
That's-
you just simply, yeah, but I'm used to there being like a hub, right?
Mhm.
Like where you could go to all the games if you wanted to. But
All right. Well,
I guess you can't.
You clearly didn't follow Copa America.
Oh, because it was New Jersey and
It was across the
All-
entirety of the United States.
Yeah.
I thought it was just New Jersey.
No,
and
they
Miami.
did.
No,
LA,
it was
they
everywhere. This
Oh.
like the finals was in Miami. There was a game in Bank of America Stadium, which is in Minnesota. There was a
Bank.
game. There was a game in New Jersey. There's
Oh.
out in LA. It was
And-
across the entire
I
country.
would watch the games. I just didn't give a shit where they were.
And Euro was all over Germany. All their major
Yeah.
Bundesliga stadiums were Euro Cup stadiums.
yeah, but Germany.
Well, yeah, I guess, but they're also equipped for it, right? Like
Yeah.
you have that,
Right.
every city that has a real a Bundesliga team has a 60,000 person or plus.
We're not
Yeah.
there yet.
We're not quite there yet. I
Yeah.
think there's going to be some augmentation for sure. Yeah. Anyway, you know what? Let's do the press conference. Let's go early.
Woo! We got lots of questions.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
All right. First question related to what we were talking about. This is from Philip. English guy here. Still in mourning. So England lost the Euros on Sunday morning. Philip says, still in mourning. We've not won anything since 66. Does that make you feel all a little better about the Leafs? Quietly weeps into a cup of tea.
No, like not at all. First of all, I'm English. I'm part English.
Yeah.
But like I don't have like a deep connection to the English soccer team.
Yep.
So yesterday I was watching with my Scottish in-laws who were pretty passionate about cheering for Spain. So I was like, all right, let's go Spain. I couldn't dig in like that. But England's suffering in soccer does not make me look at the Leafs and go, oh, phew.
At least we're not them.
First of all, you played in a final.
That's the key.
Yep.
That is completely foreign to me.
The one thing the Leafs have never had is a chance to win anything.
No,
Yeah.
everyone stop comparing the Leafs to the Cowboys.
You
It's-
said that last show or 2 shows ago, and I don't think you've ever been more right.
It's stop. I've seen the Cowboys in the Super Bowl multiple times in my lifetime. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Leafs are the Cowboys. No, they're not. Like I saw one. It was the Spider-Man meme, and it was England, the Leafs, and the Cowboys. And I'm like, okay, at least one of these things is not like the other. You could argue England doesn't belong there either, because even though they haven't won since the 60s, sorry, twist the knife, you've been to the final,
Mm-hmm.
for God's
You
sake.
get to the finals, and then you lose.
yeah.
The Leafs, they don't even get there.
No. No. That's, yeah, so where did we...
Well, does it make you feel better?
Yes,
that-
it makes you feel better.
No.
Yeah. It doesn't.
No.
Okay.
The pain of another team doesn't make my pain less.
No. Well, I will say, because I get like all the British stuff sent to me in like family group chats and stuff, and there's some company owned by, it was either a Scotsman or an Irishman. I must have been a Scotsman, but it was all these Scottish people talking about their love of Spain, and their house is just, draped in red and yellow, and they're talking about, oh yeah, I got the tapas ready for the big game, and they're just pretending like they've always had a huge crush on Spain, and I don't know, it was very funny. I thought it was funny. They just, anybody but England.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's who they cheer for.
Yeah.
And
But then,
there was a lot of it's nay coming hame.
at some events, you compete with England. I believe the Olympic team, or do I have that incorrect?
No.
It's very, well, yeah, like Andy Murray is Scottish until he wins, then he's British.
Yeah, like
yeah,
things
yeah.
like that's a good one. That's a great example. Yeah.
But they are, the British is 4 different kingdoms,
Mhm.
right? To be British, you've got Wales, you've got England, you've got Scotland, and you've got Ireland,
Yeah.
Northern Ireland.
I don't know. I never try to Brit-splain any of this.
Yeah, listen, just like their relationship, it's complicated.
It is.
It
is.
There are reports, by the way, and I can't totally confirm it.
it's
Igor
gonna be
Ronko
39 degrees
retweeted this, but it looks like Evgeny Kuznetsov may be terminating his deal with the Hurricanes. and signing with SKA.
Oh, nice.
4-year contract.
What?
Yeah, that's the rumor. That's the rumor right now.
I feel like that's commonplace for a lot of Russians at the end of their career to, hey, I've had enough of North American hockey. I'm going to go play in Russia. Like, this doesn't sound outlandish.
No, it's not crazy.
He just didn't seem like a guy who was done. Like, he
looked good.
resurrecting his career.
Well, maybe he could just make a lot more money in Russia.
Yeah.
You know?
It's also, like, reasonable, considering Russians do this quite often.
Yes, it is. So Adam said he's going to sign with SKA. And I was like, well, why wouldn't he sign with his hometown club that he used to play for, Tractor Chelyabinsk? And they don't have nearly as much money.
Yeah, that's the thing.
There you go.
Isn't it owned by like oil barons or something like that? They've got outrageous.
SKA is owned, I believe, by Gazprom.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's
if you're gonna go purely by ownership, I think they technically have more money than the Leafs,
right,
or Rangers,
yeah,
or whoever.
They do. They're the Russian majority state-owned multinational energy corporation.
Yeah,
in St. Petersburg. So yeah,
in Tractor Chelyabinsk, fun fact, they had all their windows in their arena broken by an asteroid strike.
That's wild, man.
Yeah, that happened. I can't remember how many years ago. But all these news outlets, they wanted to get a scoop. Like, they wanted to get the story because this asteroid landed so close to a major city and it, broke apart all this glass and everything. But they couldn't find any English-speaking correspondents, like any North Americans who lived in Chelyabinsk. So I think he was on CNN. He was definitely on CBC. But their goalie, the Tractor Chelyabinsk goalie, was a Canadian named Michael Garnett. I think he briefly played for the Thrashers. And he was like, yeah, it was crazy. He was the guy doing all the interviews, like, oh yeah, man, it was loud.
Wow.
And then it was like, craw. And we were all like, what was that?
Yeah. So, they got a lot of money. So if that is in fact true, interesting. Anyway, back to the question. Sorry, I just thought I'd jump in.
Before I get to the next question, let me just correct myself. Earlier, I said Bank of America Stadium was in Minnesota. It's actually where the Carolina Panthers play. It's in Carolina. So I'm sorry to all the people of Charlotte that I offended.
Missed it by that much.
I know, right? This next question comes from Scotty. It is our de facto Marner question of the day. Scotty writes, say Marner's next contract is $12 million per year. Okay. Would you take him at that number or 3 other guys at $4 million each? Which 3 players? I don't know if we get into which 3 players, but that's a little too much work. Thinking about it that way makes me think the Leafs just keep him. Even at $14 million by $4.66 million for 3 players, don't see the value in getting rid of him. Where do you guys land on the Mitch for $12 million or 3 guys for $4 million each?
Okay, so Scott, I'm not taking a shot at you, dude. That tweet to me is a perfect encapsulation of how completely unreasonable everyone is being about the Marner stuff. Take the name out of it. Please take the name out of it. His name's not Mitch Marner. It's Bob Ogden. Okay, so Bob Ogden makes $10.9 million, and Bob Ogden always puts up 90-something points. And Bob Ogden, the big problem with Bob Ogden, because most teams would take a Bob Ogden who scores 90 points every year on their team. The problem is Bob Ogden has 3 guys on his team making more than him.
Yeah.
And at least 2 of those guys have been more useful in the playoffs, especially when it matters, than Bob Ogden. Now, one of Bob Ogden's teammates has an $11 million contract expiring next year. So that saves everything, except no other team in the league, in the wide world of Quidditch, has a cap situation like Bob Ogden's team. So it would make sense if Bob Ogden was open to the idea to trade Bob Ogden.
Sure. But it also, I think, to add to that, there is a lot of factors here that are so supremely Bob Ogden's franchise, right? Like, it's not Bob Ogden. None of what you mentioned there, except for some missed opportunities in the playoffs, shall we say. Everything else Bob Ogden has done, Bob Ogden's done a really great job. It's really about the management group that has put Bob Ogden in this position, because there are a lot of reasons to say, oh, well, this person, here's the thing though. You're talking about Bob, just guy, or 3 roster spots. And the problem is that with Bob, you still need to fill out those other 2 roster spots. And what kind of quality are you getting in a hard cap world, in the wide world of Quidditch hard cap, triple hard cap system?
Now, under the scenario where you have 3 players making $4 million, you don't know how good that team is going to be.
You don't.
Under the scenario where you keep Bob Ogden, you already have an abundance of evidence that this does not work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Oh, well, there's a new head coach. There was a new head coach before. Oh, well, they signed some new guys. They signed some new guys before. Well, they got a new goalie. They got a new goalie before. The crazy thing is, I actually think the Leafs are better.
They are better.
Than they were last year. And I don't think it'll be enough.
There you go.
There's no reason.
And guessing which 3 guys, like I have no idea.
Like, okay, if
that's not my job right now.
If this team happens to win next year, I want to know why. I want to know why, because it won't be based on anything we've ever seen.
It'll be 5-on-5 goals that they convert on in the playoffs if they win. It'll be
it really is that simple.
And the teams with the best special teams in the playoffs this year were the teams that went the furthest.
Okay, so what reason is there to think that'll be different than it has been in any year since 2017?
There's no evidence.
There's no evidence. It's not about Bob Ogden. It's unfair to Bob Ogden.
Hey, that's what I keep saying. Bob's innocent here.
All
Bob did was come in and be great.
Bob Ogden is innocent. It's the management's fault, but
Bob's got to pay the price.
As we appear to be in this pickle, and Bob Ogden is the easiest one to move, even though he's fucking immovable, because this management is so stupid. It's one guy. It's one guy and a board of people who don't give a fuck. But Bob Ogden or someone or one of Bob Ogden's teammates has to go. You probably get a lot for Austin Matthews. Oh, is that ridiculous and unreasonable and stupid? Well, then trade Bob Ogden!
Anyway, let's move on.
Benjamin wants to know, how many goals will Ovi score this season? Remember how slow Ovi started?
He got up to 32, didn't he?
Yeah, a reasonable amount.
I say he's good for 35, 40. Can I pick a range?
No.
I have to have the exact
number.
37.
And if you nail it, we'll all take away your Apple bet.
37.
But you still owe us apples at this moment.
What a weird player. In 79 games, he somehow hit 31 after he had 8 before New Year's or something like that. 31 goals, 34 assists, 65 points in 79 games, minus 22. Team made the playoffs. I don't get it. So he's sitting at 853. The record is 894.
Does he do it this season?
If he scored 41, he would tie the record.
So I'm saying he's going to get close.
2 goals this year.
42, which is what he scored 2 years ago.
I say he scores 44 goals this upcoming season.
44?
Yeah, I think he's done with this record thing, and he just puts it to bed, and he gets it.
Pierre-Luc Dubois just turns into a dish master. He's like, I heard you talking shit.
That'd be crazy. What do you think, Steve? I say 44. Adam says 37.
You know what? Ovi speeds up the closer he gets to a milestone. I think Jesse's right. I'm gonna say exactly 42.
Especially with PLD feeding him and needing a I actually think that PLD and Ovi, if they're playing together to start next year, I think they're getting off to a hot start.
Better decor.
It's going to be the story of the fall. Can he do it?
Oh,
and it's going to be great.
I think it'll be the story of the spring. right? Because
yeah.
Because what we'll be doing is going, okay, well, he's got 20 goals in his first 25 games. By this, what date will he do it?
if he starts off decently, we'll all become mathematicians. Oh yeah. And remember at the beginning of the season, I was talking about McDavid hitting 1,000.
Yeah.
Oh, he got close. He was within 20, which sounds not that close, but it's McDavid. McDavid scored 20 points in a week before.
Yeah.
or 10 days.
Yeah.
That's not hard to imagine.
Yeah.
It's not hard to imagine.
Oh, he's gonna.
No.
The season begins what?
Barris Fueler wants a kayak corner because, Steve, you posted over the weekend.
You went out.
You were on your kayak, and Barris Fueler writes on Twitter, can we get a kayak corner?
What would that entail? Is that all they gave us?
Yep.
So,
Just tell us about your time on the kayak.
it was great. Is it Duffin's Creek or Duffin's Bay? I just wheel my kayak down to the boat launch there, Ajax, and it is actually like really remote and beautiful to the point where there are people fishing on the shore, and you got to make sure you don't get hooked.
What?
Oh yeah, but also there were certain paths I couldn't take. I was like, okay, I could go straight or I could go left, but there's a couple swans straight, so I got to go left. And you're looking at me like, what does that have to do with anything? Swans are assholes. You know, Canadian geese, that's like the base Pokemon, and then swans are the, evolved Pokemon where they're bigger and equally as dickish as a Canadian goose. Anything that is considered a goose. Is a swan a goose? A swan is a goose, right?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah.
Hayden, is a swan a goose?
Hold on.
He doesn't know.
I think that's a quick Google.
Google, is a swan a goose? Anyway.
Close relatives of
Close
geese and
relatives.
ducks. Yeah.
There were a couple herons.
Okay.
I wasn't afraid of the herons.
No,
I
you're
wasn't
good with
worried
them.
about the herons.
Yeah.
Oh no, me and herons, we're cool like that. Swans, we are not.
So that was the biggest dramatic is you went left when you could have gone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
no, the rest
is
of it
that the
was
only story you got?
peaceful. What stories? What do you think? Like I got off and I encountered
I just asked you about your time.
To
on
be
the
fair,
kayak.
some elves and they took me into a forbidden cave. And,
To be fair to Barris Fueler, the person who asked the question, he didn't exactly set you up with a great question. Like, if you talk to kayakers, they're rarely interesting about what happens on the kayak journey. Like,
how often
have
do you
talked
talk
a
to
kayakers?
kayakers?
Who's like, man, it's like, damn, I can't believe that happened in a kayak. That's crazy. Tell me an interesting kayaking story.
I'm gonna sick Adam Vancouverton on you. How dare you? There was something interesting.
No, you go on a kayak to be boring. It's a compliment. It's to get away from the interesting shit. And I'm gonna look at some trees, and I might see a bird, and like
I saw a bird,
and I saw some fish, and that's crazy. Wow, that's a crazy kayak story. That's what it's for. It's supposed to bring you down. It's not supposed to be like a 10 out of 10 on the entertainment scale.
Your bar for interesting drops when you're in a kayak.
Yeah.
Like I saw bubbles where there shouldn't have been bubbles, and I was like, I wonder what the fuck that is.
Yeah, so don't get it confused.
And that was
it's not me taking shots at you and your people here.
My people. That's right. No, one interesting thing did happen to me. So I haven't been in that kayak since we flipped it for our virtual 5K last year, where we tried to ride it in the most windy, treacherous conditions ever. But like I fell out of that boat with some force and I didn't realize, but I went to put my foot. There's like these two things you can put your feet on to help you balance and go faster. And one of them had ripped off.
Oh.
And they're fastened in with like a screw or something. So there was a hole.
Oh.
But luckily the hole was like only if I like dipped a certain way. So I didn't sink.
So you can
now I got to cover the hole and figure out what to do with my feet.
That's cool.
Yeah, is it cool,
That's
Adam?
real cool, man. That's a kayak story right there. That's a kayak level. Deserve to hit kayak-o-meter.
That's crazy, bro. That's a crazy kayak story.
Jesse, what other questions do we have?
So this one is a fascinating question, and I'm going to pull up an article after we read it. So Genie Utes Plays I don't know how to pronounce
Genius
the name.
Plays?
Genius Place. They spell it with a Z, so it's confusing. I want to ask Adam about the heartbreaking news that happened with the Pittsburgh Penguins organization and their move that resulted in them moving away from longtime veteran RC Cola and replacing it with Coca-Cola.
I had no idea.
I didn't know that
Cola was
either.
called Royal Crown Cola.
Yeah, that's what RC stands for.
Is that what RC stands for?
Yeah.
I thought it was race car.
So over the weekend, or I think late last week, Pittsburgh, the Penguins, and PPG Paints Arena announced that they are moving away from RC Cola and are stepping in bed with Coca-Cola. And they will be serving that now at PPG Paints Arena.
Is there any world where RC Cola is the preferred choice? Like, I don't know. I mean, is it heartbreaking? I don't know. Like, whenever you go to a party and they've got RC Cola, are you like, man, cool. I'm so glad you get it. I'm so glad you get it, because you ask people that like drink Diet Coke every day, it's like cigarettes. They're like I gotta make freaking Diet Coke or I'm gonna kill someone. And you're like, can you just bring it down a little bit? And they're like, you don't understand. But you'll never hear them go, God, I need a Diet RC Cola.
I don't know if I've ever had an RC Cola in my life.
I'll read directly from the SB Nation Pens blog just so we get some more info on this. It's on the lighter side, but ever since opening in 2010, an odd feature of PPG Paints Arena was the place being stocked with RC Cola products.
Oh my God.
Coca-Cola is dominant, pop or soda if you prefer. Pepsi is common, but RC Cola, it's almost unheard of and unseen for those products to be featured in a major arena. 14 years later, the Penguins have finally gotten aboard the Coke train and possibly stepping up into the big leagues by dropping the smaller brand and joining the many with the industry standard. And they have a whole team announcement about how they are teaming up with Coca-Cola beverages to stock the arena. The concourse level changes and tie-ins with live events speak to a lucrative business opportunity for the Penguins and with Coca-Cola. Dropping RC Cola and getting Coca-Cola is probably good for the bottom line while also being a positive change for thirsty consumers. But from my perspective, you had like a little niche thing that's unique to fans of the Pittsburgh Penguins, right? Yeah. And those things hold some sort of nostalgia and special place in your heart, because you go to any, like they outlined, you go to any major arena ever, you're not getting RC Cola.
No.
This was a thing that was unique to Pittsburgh and PPG Paints Arena, and it's kind of sad that it's gone.
Yeah, but Coca-Cola used to play for the Greyhounds.
Adam's laughing. He thinks it's ridiculous.
I just think it's, Coca-Cola is the same color as the Greyhounds.
Oh,
so
we found
obvious.
Is there anything Kyle Dubas won't ruin? This is why Crosby's leaving.
I think this is another example of big corporations taking things from our childhood that we love.
Son of a gun.
They took away our RC Cola.
Listen, I'll tell you this. I no longer eat with people that I wouldn't be thirsty with.
Okay.
No, I think it's like, listen, I think if it's heartbreaking, I'm surprised it would be heartbreaking. The heartbreaking decision to move away from RC Cola. Also, Coca-Cola, here's the thing. Pittsburgh plays above its weight in terms of market size versus fandom, right? In every sport. Even the Pirates still have fans, which is crazy.
Yes.
Because that guy needs to sell that team. Yeah. It's the best park, one of the best baseball parks ever to watch baseball in. And he's like, how about I make the team so bad that I test how good this baseball park is? Yeah. People love going to Pittsburgh to watch a baseball game, but they hate watching Pittsburgh baseball. And it's like the Steelers have these crazy fans that are spread out across the United States. You got, Penguins have a great history of championships and great players and all this stuff, but you can't be niche in a niche market. Do you know what I'm saying? Pittsburgh as a whole, population-wise, is not huge. So you got to go big. You got to get that Coke money, So... Because there's money for the Penguins in that.
I'm trying to think what the Toronto equivalent of this would be. And like all I could come up with was, would I be upset if the Marlies took out Smokes Boutinery? And
that's not the same.
I would be upset. No, because it's a minor league arena. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not the same.
And I feel like Smokes is a big brand.
It is a big brand.
Like it's a reasonably big sized brand.
Okay, what is bigger, RC Cola or Smokes Boutinery?
RC Cola.
RC Cola.
RC Cola. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What is I need someone's help with this. I need the Toronto equivalent of RC Cola being taken out of the arena.
I don't know. I think Toronto got rid of its local flavor a long time ago.
No, but like
too damn expensive.
The Jays have like craft beer now and stuff. Do the Jays have steam whistle?
No idea.
Yeah, I would.
Do they have
think
steam
so.
whistle?
They have like everything.
They
They're
did
next
for
door.
a bit.
Are they what?
Like the Jays are next
They're
door to
next
Steam
door.
Whistle Brewery.
No, but they have like quite a giant beer selection. If you just go to like one of the bars that are
That's recent though.
in the Rogers Center, yeah,
Relatively.
yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
It used to be, here's your 2 beers and shut the hell
Yeah.
up.
But you can go there and like there's legitimate like bars where you're just like,
Yeah.
hey, I want this kind of drink. They'll just make it for you, bartender. You know. So I
Yeah.
would guess that they have it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's for sure a Sioux Greyhounds connection there somehow.
100%.
Damn, Kyle Dubas.
You know what I realized we haven't talked about today?
Mhm.
And I don't know if it's in the questions and we just haven't got to it yet. The Matt Rempe video.
I just didn't care. I that's why I didn't bring it up. I looked at that. I was like, that is that's important today and today only. And then it'll come up the first time he has a fight in October. Oh, it's those George LaRock lessons.
Yeah.
And like, that's it.
To me, it's just, it latches on to a conversation that we've already had about this player.
That's a publicity stunt, guys. That's what a PR stunt is.
No, I don't necessarily.
Absolutely, it's a
What
PR
for?
stunt.
He's a New York Ranger. The Rempire State Building. He's one of the
Because
most
you can
popular
easily be
players they have.
forgotten in New York.
Why did it
No, it's
interest
not
you
forgotten.
to bring it up? What did you want to talk about it?
Well,
you wanna
okay.
say?
A lot of people are like, I saw some comments like, well, you just had that discussion about CTE. And then Matt Rempe has this video that a lot of people were like, that's really cool. Because it's Matt Rempe and Matt Rempe makes me uncomfortable. Like, I'll just be honest. Like, he's 21, might have just turned 22. He fights all the time. He's definitely tough. I think you guys got to YouTube a lot of those fights. He didn't win a lot of them.
No.
Like, this kid has taken a lot of hits to the motherboard. However, should fighting be in hockey? Well, that's a question for another time. Is fighting in hockey? Yes. So as long as it's here, you might as well practice and be good at it. If you're going to get in a fight, you might as well win. And that was all I saw in that video.
Yeah.
That's all.
I don't know. There's certain stories where people will message and they'll be like, why didn't you talk about this? And I'm like, I just didn't feel like there was enough meat there. You know, it's like, oh, that's great.
Guy
To
who
me, that
fights all the time
It
practices
felt like
fighting.
a staged PR thing. Okay, so if he was going to go take lessons from George LaRock, why were there like 4 cameras there filming it?
That's fair.
That's his agent.
In the middle of July.
That's his agent or his PR person or somebody's PR person being smart and going, hey, there's nothing going on in July. Why don't we put Rempe with LaRock?
And it starts the conversation.
Yeah.
That we already covered in March.
The whole thing about New York is that, yes, you can be popular in New York, but you can be forgotten tomorrow because it's New York. So you got to keep the train rolling a little bit here. It's just the way it goes.
Interesting angle.
Jesse.
Yeah.
More questions.
More? I
No,
thought
do you-
I
you
think
know-
we're all done.
Should we wrap? Okay, we're gonna wrap.
Yeah,
We're
we're
wrap
all
there.
done with questions.
But there's many, many more things to talk about.
So
And
many.
obviously, we've got VIP episode this week. We've also got Wednesday episode. Plenty going on for summer. Let's be honest on that one. So enjoy, and we will talk to you on Wednesday. Oh,
I hit the button.
you hit the button late. Now what am I going to talk about?
I don't know.
What do I say?
I don't know.
What do you got?
I
Jeff?
got one of
Give me a kayak story.
the
Steve.
SDPN Pride shirts.
Oh,
I think it looks
Oh,
pretty
yeah, I
cool.
know. That's a great point. It looks great in person.
that actually came out really well.
Oh, yeah.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.